Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Actual. This is a special video that I'm making because I just got an email from Mr. KS Gopal Krishnan, who is now the winner of the IAI Council election for 2026, and I believe that he is going to have some power to make some changes in IAI, which I believe is needed in IAI. Now, my experience with IAI has not been that great. There have been times uh, when I have volunteered for IAI, like I went to a school to spread awareness of about IAI. I was told that I'll be given the reimbursement for the journey, but then I was told that it would not be given. I have to manage on my own. And there are several other experiences. At one point of time, they stopped giving exemption for CA2 and CA3, and they only gave around 7 days of notice for that. So it did impact my plan. So my issue with IAI is always unplanned moves or very less thought through decisions, and they are not willing to think about how it will impact the lives of the students. So I always believe that this is a very important institution, especially for actual students, and they should take into consideration the interest of the actual students, right? As for example, this time the CS1 paper leak has happened, and I felt that the paper should be re-examined because someone is leaking the paper. How do you know which student has got the paper and which student has not? So all these things has happened, and so I did leave a bad taste in my mouth. At the same time, I also believe that I is much cheaper. It's many students can only afford II. When I started, II is the thing that interested me. In fact, for first 1.5 year or 1 year, I had no idea that IFO even exists. And then I later on recognized that there is IFO, you can get exemptions. At that point of time, exemptions are there, right? But IAI has some other benefit as well. Like till date today, it exempts IFA exams, but IFA do not exempt IA exams, right? So there are some advantages with IA as well, and I always suggest my wrote an email saying that what is your suggestion for IA, and because I'll be in power or he will be in power. So I mean, that itself is a big statement from a council president, because I don't know if that email has been sent to all associates and fellows, but if he has sent it to particular to me because I have expressed some displeasure, and if he has sent particular to me, or even if he has sent to everyone, his willingness to accept feedback is great. I have not seen that in other II president. So I think that itself is commendable and deserve a lot of applause and appreciation. So here are my suggestions, and I also want people, who will be watching this video to share their suggestion. Do not give unrealistic suggestions. They do not say something like, I should have five-star hotels for conference, etc. These are just like unrealistic. These are things that are not needed. So say about things or comment about things that probably that are achievable, right? Think from II council president standpoint as well. He would also have some limited budget to make those changes, right? So think about important things and only write those in comments. I'll be giving my suggestion, and you are welcome to write, or give your suggestion in the comment, and I will share this link with him, and hopefully he would take a look into this. Right. So first of all, congratulations to him. I believe finally I would have a good president, and he is willing to take feedback. That's a great positive uh, from actual student perspective. So the first thing that I would like II to change or fixed is the exam system. I think there is a lot of lack of transparency. Some people say that the cutoff is 50 marks. In fact, at one point of time there was a paper, but people say that it is leaked paper. It shows that the cutoff is 50 marks. So why can't II be transparent about the cutoffs? Is it a moving number? Is it 50? Sometimes is it 55? Sometimes is it 60 sometimes, or is it a standard number like 50? If it is a standard number, my question is the question difficulty keep on changing. So how can it be a fixed number, right? It should actually move depending on the difficulty of the question, right? So first, that thing, that transparency is needed, which II is giving. IFO is giving. Actually, IFO has two examiners, and they or three examiners, and then they share the marks of those examiners. So you can actually understand how it has went for you. So I think IAI should also bring that transparency, so that should be good. Second thing that I would want, and this probably is the thing that impact most students. That is, I keep shifting their pattern. Sometimes it is a MCQ, sometimes it is a subjective question and answer. Sometimes they move into online based exam system. Sometimes they move into offline based exam system. So I personally, my belief is actuarial is a offline exam. It should be paper pencil with calculator. It should not be typed, because that is, I mean, you do not have to learn mathematical notation and typing. We do not use that in our actual work at all. So I don't understand the reason, just because you have to fit into the online exam thing, you are forcing students to write mathematical notation. It should be a paper pencil test. Students are very well, especially Indian students are very well, adapted to the paper pencil test. They are writing this from the school and college days. So it should always be paper pencil or paper pen, and it should be center based. It should be properly monitored, and we should move away from online exam. Even in developed countries, the election till today is happening in ballot paper and not in EVMs. And we already know there are a lot of allegations against EVMs. So why not move to the better thing, and better alternative? And I don't think digital alternative is always better, right? Yeah, I mean, it should be comfortable for someone's eyes as well. So please do not switch between exams pattern and and exam format, right? So I think that would be my second suggestion. A third suggestion that I would want II is to make is to alter your speakers in conference. So every time you see a same set of people, so what happens is there is a group in the industry, and only those. So if you are not part of that group, you are not a speaker in GCA, in other conferences. You must explore other areas. In fact, I do not know how I should be a speaker, right? What are the credentials that I would need? And I think along with me, many people do not know that, right? So I think that should be publicized. Like, we are looking for a fresh set of speakers, right, for this topic. And that, because I always see whenever there is something related to ALM, there is a particular person, I don't remember the name of the person, but that person would always be there, right? So I feel that you need different thought process, right? And you should alter your speakers. If the same speaker is coming, just because of maybe IAI stuffs know that person better, I don't think that is right and fair. So you should always change your speakers. And I'm not saying that you hire me or you take me. You should look at other alternatives. That is what I'm saying, right? And those people should have demonstrated some knowledge, some ability, should be in some senior position, because otherwise many people who are learning, right, they are also coming and coming to the conference giving their opinion. Those opinions should be half baked. Those opinions should not be holistic. They would only look at one side of the story and completely ignore the other side. So that is something that I would want II to work upon. That is my third suggestion. My fourth suggestion, or maybe also appreciation, is the recently the introduced data science course. I think that is a good move. AI is going to impact every profession, and we should be aware of that. So I think IAI should extend that and create a separate stream called actual AI, right? There should be specialization in that, and I would be interested in that specialization, along with my other specialization. So I think I should take that forward. If I am I'm working on the AI sector. I'm learning AI stuff every day. I believe I'm an intermediate level user, not user. I mean, like, I have to give money to my full time job as well. So there is that, or get a vendor. IIT Mumbai is just nearby for IAI, so they can take their help as well. Give opportunity to the students to learn AI at low cost from a reputed institute like IAI. I think that will be helpful. Create a stream. You will also earn a revenue for that. That is new. IFA do not have a course like that, or IFA have one, but that is very expensive and that is old as well. So and you have to keep on upgrading this course because AI is rapidly upgrading, right? So I think you should include that in the course instead of mathematical notation. This is something that should be relevant, right? And it can be purely practical. It can be done through a project, right, rather than traditional exam, right? So every exam has their own challenges, and I think if someone thinks through, right, if someone is working in the industry, if someone is associated with the students, if someone knows the pain of the students, I think these are very easy to identify, very easy to create, especially for a strong institution like II, and create some training for that, or and or maybe create some materials for that, because students who are fresh out of colleges, especially in life insurance sector, they would not have access to those softwares. Those are very costly softwares. I worked in a company before, right, and I know how costly that can be, but student needs to work on that. That is the difference between an experienced student and maybe a fresher, right? So if you can have seminars on that, maybe 7 day seminars on that, and you pay those companies, because they would also be willing to help, and they are getting paid in the process. They are also getting marketing, right, in the process. So if like recently Pathwise is has come out and they are doing well. I have worked in Moody's, and Axis is also a great software. It's from my previous employer, and yeah, I mean it's building a lot of capabilities. I personally like Axis. So Properties has been in the industry for a long time. So all these softwares, if you can collaborate with them, create a session and record those videos so that student can learn those, right, and keep learning those, so then that would create better crop of actual students. So that ability will be there if you have domain knowledge. Domain knowledge comes from thinking from first principle. So I think that is also very important, that if you can incorporate actual softwares, especially for life insurance, because general insurance do not have this issue, then that would help. And I think maybe there is one extra suggestion that we'll have, which, because I mentioned my last session was my fifth session was my last session. The sixth suggestion was for the passing rate of SA2 and SA3. And I think these papers are like lottery. People with strong knowledge are not passing. People with weak knowledge are passing. And I think it must be demonstrated how to, like, a person who is working in the industry for a long time, has solved many complex problems, is still not able to pass SA2 paper. So there should be some proper benchmark set for this paper, and there should be a minimum number of students who should be passed, because there are many people who are not able to pass this paper for a long time, and because of that they are not qualified actuaries. So I feel that that's unfair, because they have been working for say 20 years, 25 years, and still they are not able to clear that paper, right? So it feels like lottery, because whatever knowledge is needed for them to survive in the industry for 25 years, that is far more than what knowledge is needed for SA2 or SA3, right? And that is where I feel that the checker, the name of the checker, or who is checking, what is the standard that is needed, why those papers are difficult, what exact answer is written, why some answer is not allowed. There should be analysis over that. There should be some sessions held over those papers, like, or maybe all the essay papers after the exam result has come out. I know this is a very like, what can I say? This is a very the strong students should pass. The weaker students should not pass. And I think the way the stronger students and weaker students are determined for those papers is actually not correct. So I think for those papers you should have some you know have some parameters in place. Students should not be asked questions from regulations, or asked to reproduce regulations, because we can obviously in our real life work we can refer to those regulations. We do not need to memorize that, right? So it should always be a conceptual paper, and then regulations should not be part of it, or it should be part of it in form of not memorizing it, right? You should not be asked to reproduce what happens in expense regulation section 3.8. Right? I think that is ridiculous. You are just testing memory. You are not testing the brain power or brain capacity or intelligence of the student, which ideally you should. So I think SA2 and SA3 require some, understanding and reformatting. That is the only paper I feel, or maybe the other entire essay paper, right? So it can be practical as well, right? Someone who has demonstrated a degree of knowledge may get exemption for that or something like that, but it should be fair for everyone, right? So once again, I believe if you have worked in the industry, if you think on this, sir, then you would be able to do justice to this paper. So I think these are the suggestions that I had. I don't want to make this video too long. And below this video would be comments from the students. If you work on the feedbacks or the suggestions that I've given, and I am willing to help in whatever limited capability I have to make IAI a better institution. And I hope you are the right person to take IAI forward and make it or scale it to the heights that it always deserved. Thank you, and see you in future videos.